All right, we're live.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for joining us. I'm Raquel from Rise Capital Investments, and I'm here with my partner, Lais.
Hello, I'm Lais with Rise Capital Investments. We're in the middle of a fall break here, so doing some fun things. I'm super excited to join and talk about how to make more money, right, without having to leave your job.
That's correct. So here we're going to share just some actionable tips. We know we have a lot of people in our networks that are on wealth building journeys, but some people, they want to figure out how to make more money so that they can invest more and they can continue to grow their wealth and build their wealth without having to quit their current jobs. People love what they do. But sometimes they experience where, and especially right now with the times of inflation and rising costs and everything, we can sometimes have income creep where our lifestyle keeps up with our increased income. And so we want to share how you can continue to build wealth and plan for your financial future without stressing about, having to quit your job or having to leave your job. But you can actually utilize your job as and leverage your current job to continue to build wealth. And so, yeah, we're going to go over a couple different tips and things that we can do. We can, share with you on how to increase your income and then overall continue to build wealth and plan for your future.
Yes, I love that. And it's really important to talk about this specific topic because if becoming a millionaire status is something that's important to you, you definitely want to hear a little bit more about what millionaires are doing, right? So statistically speaking, millionaires, multimillionaires, I mean, shoot, billionaires, right? They have several streams of income. I think the average is about seven, right? So most have about seven or more streams of income. That being your active job, which, it's money that you're earning, right? Your active job or your business. Um, you have, they're usually having profits from side hustles. They have interest, right? From savings, from lending money, from investing money. That would come, as dividends for stocks, ETFs. They have rental income from property. They have capital gains, right, from investing again, and even royalties for being part owner of a business, right? So you definitely want to have several backup plans alongside your active income earning job, right? Whether you're a business owner or you are working a corporate job, you want to have several backup plans that you can fall back because you never know when you're going to be laid off. Also, you never know. Like for me, I had a horrible, horrible boss. At the end of my career, I had a horrible boss. And guess what? Because I had built that passive income stream and several different income streams, I was able to leave my job and not worry about if I had an option to fall back. So, super important to really spread your wealth across different areas, and always finding ways to grow financially, learn financially, and just become fully dependent on several streams rather than just becoming dependent on just one. Right. So that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. And hopefully, we'll give you some tips here that you can take action on today and start increasing your streams of income. Even if you do it slowly, taking that step sooner rather than later will make a huge difference. And it really snowballs as you get more into creating income streams. Possibilities just open, and it's just exciting.
Yes, exactly. And people look at this from the lens of not always just like, oh, I want to have more money, but it's really having more options,
Mhm.
on, options to work less or work more, to have option like location freedom, to have options to, pay for your kids' college or retire earlier. Whatever it is, this is going to create options for you. So as we go through these next things, I just want everybody's wheels to be spinning about, okay, how could you maybe apply this to your life? And like Lais said, the sooner that you start doing it, the better, because then the sooner you'll have those options appear one after the other. So if you are working a W-2 job right now, something that you can do to make yourself more valuable is, or one of the options is to make yourself more valuable in your job. So whether it's a corporate job or a small business, something that you should consider is, have you asked or negotiated a raise lately? A lot of people will just wait around and um, just wait to be, called into the boss's office to say, oh, here's your annual review or something. You're going to get your basic raise. But I would take it maybe on the flip side and think, okay, what is it that I'm doing currently that I can show to my employer that I am valuable and that I deserve the raise, and maybe a different than just a set increase per year. So yeah, negotiate your raise, know what you're worth, and be able to prove that to your employer. The next thing is, maybe consider switching jobs. If you've been in the same job for a long time, you may be making less than you could be if you were switching. Uh, we've I've heard a lot of things on the internet, and I think there was a study that said that people who switch jobs every 2 years do make a significant higher amount than people who do not. And then
Mhm.
according to ADP, their 2023 data, they said that if you stay in your current high growth industry or your same job that's in a high growth industry, you may be earning on average about a 5.9% raise. But if you were to be jumping to another company, you could earn significantly more, around 9%, depending on the opportunity. But even in another article from Forbes, it stated that employees who stayed at their companies longer than 2 years were paid 50% less. So while it may seem extreme, employees did see who switched jobs have seen an average of 30 to 100%. Well, not average, but I think they have seen 30 to 100% increases in their salaries if they were to accept a new job offer. So it can happen. Um, just keep your options open.
I
The
was
other
gonna
thing with yeah,
I
go ahead.
I was gonna say too, Raquel, with that, and it doesn't have to be just, switching from one company to another. If you're switching your not career path, but if you are switching your job description, right, within even the same company. Like for me, I worked for ADP, interestingly enough, right, with the data. Um, but data is their middle name. So and it's right on, right? So the maximum amount of raises that I could have, and they're very competitive, right? Because they produce all this data for the government. So they know what's competitive. And so the most competitive raise I would get would be a 6% increase. But if every 2 years I would be switching my job description, and switching what I was doing within the company, that also supported a massive increase, like Raquel was saying, right? But that's definitely something to look out for. Lots of people, especially older generations like baby boomers, Generation X, they would just stay, and they do up to this day stay with a company, with the same company, within the same job description for 10, 20, 30 years. And what that does, it just keeps them stagnant, right? Because that increase in income is not keeping up with inflation, let alone with their maybe their lifestyle. So always, that's a very good tip, and just a very fast way to increase your income overall. So that's awesome that you
Exactly.
share. this information.
Yeah. So change positions within one company or switch companies is a good option. Um, the other thing is, okay, how can you bring in more maybe revenue or add some type of service to your current company? Um, so is there a way for you to negotiate with your employer that says, hey, if I increase the revenue um in a certain service or a certain department, if I increase that revenue, can I get a split of the profit or some type of commission? Or look at different commission based positions. Like Lais was saying, you could switch to sales, you could get more, um, you could
Mm-hmm.
potentially get more money if you do some type of commission or profit split with your current employer. And then also the other thing is to consider maybe starting your own business. We talked to a lot of professionals who, worked in a business for a long time, and then, but then they decided, you say it's an attorney or an accountant, or say you do tech or something, that you could go out and start your own practice or your own um, agency. That way you can have control over your revenue, you can have control over your company, and you can potentially make a lot more money as an entrepreneur. That does come with its caveats. Business ownership is hard and entrepreneurship is hard, but everything's hard. So just there is
Choose your
options to
heart.
be able to, yeah, choose your hard, and just know what your options are and what that would look like.
I love that. And that's also a good way to start your own practice, right? So you're also strategically leveraging your current job to practice what you are, already doing. So you are learning and becoming better in your trade by working for someone else. You're learning from them, you're leveraging their knowledge, but then on the side, you are starting your business. And we know that every startup is a little bit of a pain, right? So it removes a little bit by you having a job that's established with a company that's already established. It does remove some of those risks that you would be seeing if you were just really starting your business. So doing both at the same time is super smart, which brings me to the next point here, which be overemployed right now. And I can even tell you how many people we work with on a day to day. Some of our investors, they are working several different W-2 jobs. And so they make a very agnostic LinkedIn profile. They have several LinkedIn profiles that don't have their picture. And they are working several different jobs, right? So if, let's say, you're a data analyst or you're data scientist or engineer, you're working that job. Sometimes you're not required to be 40 hours. Sometimes you are required to be 40 hours logged in. But because it's, a data job and they're doing sales, usually sales, you are required to be, meeting a certain quota, right? So if you're meeting your quota and you're producing for your company, you're, really producing, overproducing, and you have extra time, then you can do both. And those are two W-2 jobs. Those are two benefits that you can take advantage of, right? So this is something that's becoming very common for people to be overemployed. So having several W-2s, having several benefits to take part in. So that's something that you can consider if you are in a job that you feel very comfortable doing and you are producing really well. Think about getting a second W-2. And in fact, one of our investors, I think they have 5 W-2s, which is crazy. But it's just interesting to see. And, they're able to live off of one of the W-2s, and all the other W-2s they're investing, right? So they're going to retire much sooner because they are making in the effort instead of just spending more money and increasing their expenses. They're actually being very strategic with their incomes. Um, and another thing too is consider a part-time job. So let's say your job requires a lot of you, right? and you cannot do a second W-2 completely, you can do a part-time W-2 job, or even a contract job. I have a friend who had some debt and wanted to start investing in real estate. So she took a part time job. She used to work for Fidelity, and then she took a part time job with Amazon. And she had a goal, I think it was $40,000 to, that she wanted to save those $40,000 so she could invest, pay some debt and invest. And so once she hit the $40,000, she put it on her calendar, the date that would happen, right? Because she was earning part time and she knew what the amount was going to be. So she put it on her calendar, the date that she could quit, and so she did. So that's just an idea for you to look into, those part-time jobs as well. So another option is to start a side hustle, right? For me, that's how it went down. I was able to start a side hustle that, really paid me, and it helped me get into the option to leave my job sooner. But you can always, put in some time over the weekends to start a course. You can write a book and sell it on Amazon. You can house hack. If you have additional rooms in your house, you can house hack and rent some of those rooms on Airbnb. You can sign up and do affiliate marketing. You can do Amazon reviews. That's a big thing right now. You can do photography. If you're a good photographer and you have equipment, you can do photography gigs on the weekends. You can do DJ gigs on the weekends. You can rent out cars on Turo. So there's so many options here for you to do a side hustle. Some of them involve you putting your time, and some of them involve you putting, a little bit of effort up front, and then it's something that's more passive as you go. So consider those options.
Yeah, and that's where some of those things like selling a course or writing a book go into, like, intellectual property that you can get royalties from over and over again. Like, you put a lot of time up front, but once you create that, it can kick off passive income indefinitely. So yeah, some things to consider when increasing that income. And the last thing that we want to talk about, that we feel all of these things when you're increasing your income should be flowing to this last one, to how to increase your income, your cash flow, your benefits that help build your entire wealth building ecosystem. And that is investing for cash flow. Your cash flow is something that a lot of people want to be able to count on to live on, where they have investments that appreciate over time, so it's building their wealth. But then living on cash flow is a big goal, I would think, for a lot of investors. And so what that is that your lifestyle is being paid for by passive income. And how you can do that is you become the bank. You become the bank by taking that, the money that you generated, and then you take a percentage of it, whatever that is for you personally, and then you invest that money. So here we're specifically talking about lending that money out. So when you lend the money, so you're creating a private credit essentially. What happens is you get cash flow by the borrower paying interest. And so that is a really powerful way to put your money to work without having to do all these other things, without having to dedicate as much of your time other than on the front end to vet the borrower and the deal. You put your money out there and it starts to work for you. So we love this way of being able to increase your income, because you're getting that cash flow, but you're not necessarily having to trade your time for the money. The money is working for you. And I believe that's something that we all strive for and we all want to increase, is getting that, into that, pretty much financial freedom where passive income is paying for your basic expenses and your lifestyle, your trips, your anything above and beyond. So any luxuries. And I just want to kind of put it into perspective, like the power of investing. So like if you start, like it might be easy for some to just take $50,000 and invest it, and with compound interest within 3 years, that $50,000 is going to be like over $70,000. So that's just if you're earning about 12% per year. And this is something that we advocate for, because this is what we help investors do. We help them put their money in, they earn 10 to 12%, and they can continuously compound that interest every single year. So just imagine if you had $50,000 per year, $100,000, $200,000, what that would look like in 3 to 5 years if you just continuously invest that same amount every single year. So if I hope this helps everybody. I hope this gave you some ideas on how to increase your income and what the end goal is, hopefully, to be getting that cash flow increase to be able to continue to build your wealth. And we have some investments, some live offerings right now. So if you're interested in doing any investments for cash flow, then feel free to send us a DM. You can send me a DM, or Lais, or you can just go to partnerwithrise.com and you can schedule a call there. And we're more than happy to go over our current offerings if you're an accredited investor. So make
Absolutely.
sure, yeah, to let us know. We're here to help. We want to make sure that we support you with your financial goals and your investing goals, and are able to provide those opportunities for you to create more money without having to quit your job.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Raquel was saying really quick before we say goodbye, we are in private placement, right? So there's lots of data right now that you can look, that lots of, private placements are beating the market. Regardless, we do have a diversify, options for our investors and ourselves. Us as investors, we wanted to create a platform where we could put in our money and get excited about the investments that we're working on. Some of them are passive, like Raquel is saying, that are paying 10 to 12%. And those are real estate backed investments. Okay. So if something goes wrong, you do have that real estate as a collateral, right? So that's what really excites us about all of it. Because on the market, if something goes wrong with with a stock or a company, you don't necessarily, have anything to fall back on, right? So we love that these private placement options that we have, they're all backed by real estate, and they're true passive income. So if you have any questions, I would love to connect with you. I'd love to hear some of your investment goals. I love to talk about finances. So if you guys want to reach out to us, like Raquel said, we're always willing to connect over DM or just have virtual coffee. Schedule some time with some of us on our partnerwithrise.com for virtual coffee, and let's get acquainted and let's talk about, more ways to get you in this passive income journey. So thanks for staying with us.
Yes, thank you so much. And I do want to address some comments, like companies don't take care of their employees long term. That's so true. And it's so unfortunate. Like Lais was saying, you can get laid off. You can have health issues. You can have unforeseen circumstances in your life. And it's just going back to having options and having the flexibility to work or to not work is really what that true financial freedom is about for us. And yeah, we're more than happy to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and don't miss our webinar or our virtual event next week. If you want, you can go to our website there as well and register at risecapitalinvestments.co/webinar, or again, shoot us a DM and we can send you over there. And we'll be talking a little bit more about who we are and what we do as a company, and you'll get to know the whole team and get to know a little bit more about us. So I look forward to seeing you.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care, guys.